how do we kind of let go of the plans and dreams that we had that involved our ex-partner?
Ooh, you're toying between acceptance and resignation. You want to be able to accept the fact that that pathway is no longer available to you. And then the second part of that sort of true acceptance is because you're no longer on the same path as someone else and you've given a part of you to that other person, that relationship, you have to draw that back. Which, internally reconnect to your sense of self, reconnect to who you are before, sometimes before the relationship, or whatever part that you get given up, and then use that to go, well, my path is now this without that person, or we're not in a relationship at all.
Mm,
Mm.
yeah. I mean, I think that's the hard part, isn't it? Accepting that
That's
path's
very,
no longer available.
and you'll go backwards and forwards. I don't know if I know I have, like, there's parts of me that's, oh, okay, I'm starting to generate a little bit of distance with time. Okay, like I'm going to be now treading this path, whatever this is going to look like. And the thing that is somewhat saving me is like, well, what do I want? What do I want to do with myself? I'm not thinking about being in a relationship or being with someone else. I'm going to go that direction.
Right.
See what
Right.
happens. Yeah.
I feel like there's a fine line for that too, because I feel like then people get out of relationships and then they're like, well, that's it. I'm not gonna do anything with anyone anymore. I'm not gonna rely on anyone.
Hmm.
And then they get into another relationship and the other person's like, how come you don't consider me? And you're like, oh, because I've been hurt too many times. So now I'm just sticking to my own plan and I don't give a shit about you. And I'm just on my
Hmm.
own tracks
Hmm.
here over here that don't
Hmm.
include you. So I feel
Yeah.
like there's this, kind of thing of like we have to be there's such a fine line of involving the right person and knowing when the right time is. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
So the question becomes then, how do you know you can pick the right partner?
Yeah, I guess so.
Like,
Or how do you know when you've let them in? Um, yeah, like to when to really let them in or when to make that change?
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
I know between my last relationship, but the one that just ended, and then the one before that, I
mhm.
got to the point. I sort of had that feeling of, no, I'm not interested in getting to another relationship. And it wasn't until a friend and a supervisor, we've talked about this before, but a friend and a supervisor, and they said, why don't you go and date or meet people for the sake of seeing that there's actually good people out there? Because I'd felt like I'd been burnt. Like, where, like, I'm giving everything here. Like, what the hell? Um, but the last relationship, to go to your question, your point, was that I got to the point where I'm like, well, everyone goes, I want this in a partner. And I thought, well, to get that partner, what am I giving? And then it was a next question underneath that: what am I willing to give? Am I ready to give to that? Yeah, I am. And so start looking and do the dating thing and all that sort of stuff. And met my last relationship. I was like, all right, I'm going to give everything here, all the chips on the table, and it didn't work. So
Right.
coming to the end of that, it's now, well, I actually learned something here. It's like, I'm not feeling like I'm ready to give at the moment. It's only been a really short space of time.
Right.
Not going to go into any sort of dangerous coping mechanisms or unhealthy coping mechanisms. Just sit with this, go along with it, and then see, uh, actually being very careful. Am I bringing up that baggage, which is what you're talking about? I could harden up and go, no, screw women, screw relationships. No, I'm done. This is who I am. Take it or leave it.
Right.
That's just baggage. It's like, no, I'm actually ready to give again and be fresh for that new relationship. So that person doesn't get me going, oh, now I'm really quite like dark on
Jaded.
relationships and I'm not gonna,
Yeah.
yeah.